Now, in this lecture, we're going to see how we can automate this executable files, because at times it happens that whenever a new Firefox browser, whenever a Firefox browser version gets updated, or even if you're working on Chrome browser, you may be familiar that Chrome version, it gets updated automatically. So whenever the new browser version is installed or configured, every time you need to go to this site and you need to download the latest executable. Let's say for the recent one is 0.23. Prior to this, it was 2.2 and then 2.1. This is dependent on the browser version that you're working on. Maybe if you are using an older version of executable files, then things might not execute on your browser. So you need to make sure that when you're working on Selenium, you should be using latest Selenium jar file, latest browsers, and latest executable files, right? So in order to automate this process, I'm gonna comment this out, and I'll be using the web driver manager class and say dot firefox driver dot setup. Only this much statement we need to write, and if I run this thing right now, you're going to see that automatically it will going to launch the browser. We're going to navigate to google.com, right? And same stuff you need to do it for Chrome as well. For Chrome, you simply need to write Chrome driver equal to new Chrome driver, Control Shift O, import the files. Instead of Firefox driver.setup, you'll get Chrome driver.setup. And save this and run this. You need not to worry about the executable files. It will be automatically managed with this WebDriver manager class, right? See, let's try it on Safari as well. So Safari driver equal to new Safari driver, and from here dot Safari. Okay, so for Safari, we may not need it. You can see over here, I'm not getting anything related to Safari. So if I save this now and run this, see, it directly launches the Safari, right? So there is no need to download any executable file for the Safari browser. But one thing you need to make sure when you're working on Safari browser, you need to allow remote automation. If you don't enable this, let's say I disable it, then if I again run it, it won't work, right? So you'll get an exception, could not create a session. You must enable the allow remote automation option in Safari develop menu. So you need to go to develop menu and you need to enable this allow remote automation, and then when you run it, you should be able to run your Safari browser, right? And lastly, we're going to configure Opera. So in order to configure Opera, what we need to do is same step, WebDriver manager dot Opera driver dot setup, and over here Opera driver equal to new Opera driver. Import this and run this, and you'll find the execution will now going to happen on the Opera browser. So let us wait and see if it launches the Opera browser. See, starting Opera, and it has navigated to google.com on Opera. Although it didn't bring the focus, but the execution is still happening. If I again run it, see, it launches, navigating. The focus is not automatically gone to the browser, but yes, it did work, right? So all the four browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and Opera, are working absolutely fine on Mac operating system. So this is the like basic configuration. What all we did: install Java, install Maven, then we have configured environment variables, then we have added the jar files for Selenium and WebDriver Manager in a form of Maven dependencies, right? And then we downloaded all the browser executables with the help of Manager class, right? So if we don't follow the Maven way, then we need to do all these things manually. Then we need to go to download all the jar files separately, and we need to download all the executables separately, one by one, and then we need to make it work. But if you follow the Maven way, your life will be very easy. All right. Thank you.